Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and you are all amazing. All two of you. Well, hi, welcome to another fun day of doing software development. Actually, design. Lots and lots of design. And TBD Gamer was first, and he's lurking for his stand-up. Hope it goes well. Hope it doesn't take too long. Is on topic and your team is moving forward. We are stuck, but I'll bring that up later. It's kind of annoying, but it's actually one of those situations. It's like I have no clue what's going on. The other developers don't have a clue what's going on, and it's a mess. So maybe one of you will have some information, and that's why I will ask about it later. But for now, I'm gonna finish publishing Monday's video, which I had not done yet. I'm also going to connect to Twitch and bring the bot in and head on over to this other computer long distance travel. Run, power shell. I am so prepared. No, I was in the middle of doing teamwork. Teamwork. Oh man, I was just about to ask about it while I'm waiting for this thing to run, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. We'll talk about it. For now, the last thing that I need to get open is Figma. So I've restarted my computer. I like how I typed in Figma into my start menu, and then it showed, or I typed FI, and then it showed Firefox Figma, and then I arrowed down to Figma, and then I hit enter, and as I was hitting enter, it moved back up to Firefox. And I was like, what the truck? So anyway, hello Zaid. How are you doing today? I hope all is well. Things are interesting. Run already. Oh my gosh. Text gen, refresh, models, and load. Open Orca. Load. Good morning. Oh, please tell me you're listening. Oh, thank goodness. All right, let's just see if restarting my computer between Monday stream and today has fixed the archery. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. What? A little too hard. Still too hard. Nope, not gonna make it. Too soft. Okay, good. So it looks like everything is up and running. We'll head over to the desktop scene, and Zaid says, I'm doing well, just working on a WinForms app right now. Yay, WinForms. What are you doing in WinForms? That doesn't sound very fun. There is one more thing. I need to go to YouTube's. Hey, YouTube. And come on. Jens can do it. Edit 223. So Monday's video will be live as soon as it finishes transferring over to YouTube. Getting it in the right playlist. No, it does not contain that stuff. It is English US. English US. Recorded on Lunar Day. So, welcome into a new month. Happy May to you. May the first be with you. I'm sure that's how it works. I'm certain of it. Zaid says, loading DXF files and converting snowboard shapes into a list of arc length and radius. Whoa. That sounds pretty complicated. But I hope you're having fun doing it. Or whatever. I keep saying fun. So my word for the enjoyment that I get out of software development is fun. That might not be everyone's goal. So whatever the word is that drives you to do what you do. I hope you're getting whatever that is. I don't want to force fun as the thing that you should be striving for on anyone. It's just that I have so much fun all the time. It's frustrating, it's enraging, but fun overall. I need another browser window. One that maybe has CodePen on it. That would be great. Okay, so on Monday we mucked around. I wanted to use that phrase, and didn't really do anything in the design. I found out what it is. I've been in Figma pretty much every day for the past 2 or 3 weeks and doing nothing but designs and everything else. So like on stream, we've been doing Figma for a long time, trying to get these designs up and running. But even for my work product, I've been in Figma just trying to update the designs for whoever it might be that will replace me, to have something good to go off of and to keep working with in an easy way. Ooh. Breathing in and swallowing water is not a good combination. Thankfully, it was only a little. It says its purpose is to be fed into a machine that bends metal edging into the shape that was provided by the DXF file. That's cool. I had to use one of those in the Da Vinci House of Da Vinci game, except it was older and didn't use DXF files, DNA files. Okay, so what do we do on this stream? On this stream, we muck around. I said it again. The stream project we've been doing is this financial management application, and it's pretty much a way for us to continue working on a project as if we were doing it for a real world client. I used to stream my day job, and then I moved to a new job where I wasn't able to do that, and I still wanted to stream Blazor and the actual development process of what it would be like to do something for an actual client in a real world setting. And so we kind of tried to keep that in mind while we were developing this app. One thing that I was trying to find out if it was working or not is running the Maui application, because Irish John was just talking about talking about helping a friend with gosh, I'm saying so much today, helping a friend with a mobile app that reads the file location and gives back files in that file location or something. It's just something simple. And so I was like, Maui is a really good approach to do that with the skills he already has. It's C# for the back end. You don't have to learn any new C# or any new programming language or paradigm. And then for the front end, you could use XAML if you so desired, if you wanted to, torture yourself. But I'm using a Blazor web view. And so I created a really quick app just to see if it was possible to do, if it was easy, and do a proof of concept to be like, yeah, this, the hardest part of it was setting up the dev environment. Will be setting up the dev environment because mine is already set up. I have an Android emulator that is in the Android device manager, and I can run it. It's got API version 33 on it, and so I can do all the things. Project not selected for build in this configuration. You're right, it's not, because I fixed it.
What's up? What's up?
Hello. Sorry, I'm getting messaged on Teams. Let me write this real quick. I apologize. Oh gosh. It's not an easy question either. Hi teams, hello from Twitch. Yes, I would love to say that. I am fairly distracted. Why are you typing again? You already asked me the question. Let me answer. The 3 dots always makes it hard for me to finish whatever thought I was having while I was typing. And so, person sends the question, I start responding, they start typing. I'll just wait for you to finish typing what you're typing. Thank you, Dukasoft. So helpful. Okay. Still typing. Bye. There are some scheduled meetings. Alright guys, I really apologize for this. This is just rude. Oh, okay. Got it. Yes, dealing with teams. Please hold. Hello, Deflux. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day. It's a bit of a slog, bit of a hump to get up. I can't wait to be on the other side of it. Okay. So we were talking with Zeta earlier about the WinForms project that he's working in, and it sounds really cool though. Being able to manipulate the things. The other thing that I was trying to do was just run Finan Maui, which I have not been able to do for a while, but I think I'm at a point where it will build and run. So not just build, but also run. Why does it say skipped? I just added it. Come on, you can change. My team lead is quitting in a week, which is fun, trying to work out how to call Angular from Blazor. There's a few ways. So if you have custom web components, I think is what they're called, custom elements, custom components, then you just have the one file that does all of the Angular loading. It's a JavaScript file. And then you have each of the components JavaScript files that it needs in order to run. Then you just use the custom HTML element and yeah, and you pretty much use the JavaScript interop to call back and forth. So typically the Angular element will have methods in it, or at least some kind of, what did they call theirs? So I'm working with another team for this exact thing, doing Angular. They're creating Angular components that we're using in our desktop app, which of course I'm using Blazor for the UI. So am I aware of a project that demos this? And you really don't have to at me. Trust me, I read chat. Adding me is like putting a red flag in front of me, in front of a bull or something. Anyway, no worries. Todo. Ole. Anyway, I'm gonna hurt you, Digsoft. You're about to. Do you still want mod? I mean, you're a great mod and everything, but you push the right buttons, you'll have your powers taken away just as quickly as they were given to you. Not really. I probably wouldn't take mod away from you ever. You could do anything you wanted. I wouldn't. Anyway, so off the top of my head, no. The things that I read to get to the point that I'm at were just how to turn Angular components into custom HTML elements. No, I am I'm a small left nut, aka testy, today. What? Did you say something, Defa? That's terrible. But anyway, what I was trying to say is there's a lot of stress. I have a lot of stress right now. And this morning started off with a very unfavorable situation that I was not happy with. And it just, I'm like, why is this still a thing? Why do I have to pull teeth in order to get this to happen? Ah, deploy. Deploy is the other thing that you need. That's what it is. Okay, so this should work now. I should be able to run this in debug, and I'll bring over the emulator and I'll keep talking with chat. I mean, it's nothing big. That's the thing. They're all small things that are just really annoying. That I think, like, I could just be overreacting to it. But the short of it is, can I say it in a short way? I'll just say it the way that I say it. So we have our repo, and the way that we do changes, it's running. The way that we do changes to our code base is we create a branch, make the changes in the branch, and because there are 4 developers working on the same product, and we're all making changes, whenever we happen to make the change, we merge it into the main branch. Before, like yeah, let me just say it this way. The process is branch, do code changes, and do a PR to get it merged into the main branch. One thing that I thought was pretty standard for this process is for your PR, before you submit for review, you merge the current main branch into yours so that you have the latest code, you build, you make sure that nothing has broken since you started developing on it. Yeah, sync up. And then you do the PR. And this is just like standard. And yeah, it is mandatory on our main branch too, on our PRs, where you have to push the button that says, merge main into this branch so that they are synchronized. But we have one person that really likes to submit their PRs without doing that step, which leaves it on the person doing the review to merge their code for them or ask them kindly to merge their own code. And a lot of times they make changes where there are merge conflicts, and so it'd be better if they did the merge conflict resolution instead of having the reviewer do it. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, reject PR. But it's a small team. He's someone that I need to work with, and I don't want to create an environment of I'm just this picky, snobby, whatever. He's been there longer than me. He's a senior developer. He's a seasoned developer. But like his branch was 40 commits behind main. And so what I still end up doing, yeah, then he should know better. And he's worked in teams for like 20 years and blah, 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 blah. So he has all the experience and he knows how this works. Okay, sure. So then just do that, do it in a way where you are doing that as part of your process for making a change. Make sure it works with main. Make sure there are no conflicts when you're going to merge so that when you do actually do the PR merge, that it is successful. But anyway, what I still end up doing is in situations like that, I'll check out the code locally. I'll check out their branch locally. I'll merge master main. We still call it master. Merge master into their branch locally to see if there are merge conflicts. Rebuild to see if there are build issues. Run it and just run through a few UI stuff to see if there are any runtime errors from their code. The other thing that needs to get regenerated from a rebuild, if they aren't at latest, are the localizations. So for some reason, the way that our localizations process works, the pipeline doesn't always get the latest localizations files. So I make sure that localizations are up to date, especially the ones that I just fixed, which got reverted by another push that had an old localizations file that I had to fix again. So anyway, so I do all that as part of my review. Plus I have my own work to do. So if you could just have your PR already at latest master, the pipeline CI build is already running to let us know that it builds successfully, I can just read the file changes in GitHub and see what the code changes are, what they're doing. If I can make sense of them, then I will approve it then and there. But yeah, otherwise I go through that whole process, and then if there are no issues at all when I've done their work for them to merge master into their branch, then I will go ahead and just be like, so your branch wasn't at latest master. I went ahead and pulled it to latest master since I saw there were no merge conflicts. It built and it ran without runtime errors. You should still review whatever changes happened yourself. I'll approve your PR. But I feel like a douchebag saying that. Because, like, I want to do things in a way that the reviewer doesn't have much work to do other than read the code that I submitted for the PR and not integration testing and all that stuff, because we don't have automated testing, by the way. So yeah, anyway, that was my frustration this morning. It's nothing massive, but it was still annoying. Okay, here's what I'm showing you at the moment. This is the financial management tracking application, same Blazor UI, but running in Android. Magical. The end. The only thing that it can't do well is use the HTTP client to contact the API backend, even if it was running, which it's not running at the moment. And that's because I need some kind of reverse proxy. Pretty much turning on whatever the name of the thing is, dev endpoints. You know the thing that I'm talking about. Live endpoints. And so if I did that, then this would work exactly the way that the desktop version, that the mobile or web version, all of them work. I am curious though, what happens if I do run the back end? You're not being a problem. It's part of the workflow. If people do their part, things flow smoothly. True. Yes. And I've been trying to just urge him or encourage him to do it that way. And he does know. And like, I guess the thing that really added to it, that made me not want to control my frustration at it, was his email responses. There is a button in the PR that says merge master. Like, I'm supposed to be the one to do that. Or I didn't know that it existed, but he's telling me that it exists. And you could just push that button. Or you could do, you know, that as part of your workflow to have the PR ready. Yeah, what if the merge doesn't go cleanly? Whose job is it to fix it? And not only that, my name gets put in the blame in the commit history. And so I own, like, according to the team, I would own the code base at that point in time. So anyway, that was my minor rant. And hello, Thindle. Okay, so let's start off with, if Dukasoft hasn't already beat me to it, TBD Gamer. TBD Gamer is a developer, application developer working on 2 applications. Number 1 is Water Drink Water, an application for tracking how much water you drink in a day, setting goals for yourself, not doing it in a competitive way, but instead doing it as an encouraging, self-motivating practice for drinking water. Yep. He works on that on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's a community project. He works on it only on stream, and he has the source for it on GitHub. One day I'll have the command updated with your repo, but you're always welcome to share it. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays he streams. So today, for example, he streams Liquid Sky, which is a project management application for helping developers track stuff when they are doing software development. You know, project management kind of stuff, the kind of thing you would see Jira used for, or Azure DevOps, except done in a more developer-centric way, so that you're not just getting all of these backlog items added because you got a ticket and you say, well, we need to address this ticket, but we're currently doing these 20 other things, so let's just put it in backlog, and then it gets forgotten. So his application will help. I'm deleting stuff. Will help with making sure that things don't just sit there. They are tied to actual work that you should be doing, and you will get reminded if that work does not get done. The API is running. So yeah, so that's what all of that is. Can I go back? Is there a way to go back? I don't think there's a way to go back in the mobile app. I just have to start it over. Excuse me. So that is Liquid Sky and Water Drink Water, TBD Gamer. Fantastic streamer. He's also really cool to listen to. He's got a cool voice and just overall awesome to hang out with. So check him out. I guess I should say what time he streams. He streams at 7 a.m. Eastern time, which is UTC -4 currently. And yeah, that is somewhere. Don't mind me just clipping your intros to my projects so I can use them. Definitely allowed. So that is 5 hours ago is when he started streaming, and he usually streams for 2 hours unless he has other stuff going on. 5 hours? 4 hours. 4 hours ago. I suck at time. Time is a construct. It's not a real thing. Do you do API calls yet? Or do I still need to do the thing? Looks like it crashed. Whatever. So yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, point is, we have one UI and we can run Blazor in Android, Windows. If I had a Mac, we could do iOS and Mac OS. And I haven't installed Tizen on this machine, but if I installed Tizen, we could also deploy to Samsung TVs and stuff. No, we're not trying to do that. Were you just hung up? Is that what happened? Whatever. Just close. We're done with you. We're done. Thank you. Thank you for the demonstration. Although I didn't mean to close the emulator. It doesn't matter. We're going back to Flying So point is that the thing that I keep trying to demo was Maui running the application, the same one that runs in the browser. We can run on desktop, which would look very similar to the one that we're running using WPF. And we could also run it in Android, iOS, macOS, Tizen. Yeah. So there you go. TBD develop, which is TBD friends, which is also okay, good times. So we can move forward now. Yay. Oh, we can also stop you. And we can also do what? We're back in CodePen because we've been working on this design, and as mentioned in previous stream, or actually what I said this morning, for those of you that weren't here when I mentioned this, is I think the reason I procrastinated so much on Monday and maybe a little bit last Wednesday is I'm kind of getting burnt out from design, and I didn't recognize it as burnout because I don't typically notice that I'm getting burnt out. And so now I think I have another way of determining whether I feel like I'm getting burnt out working on a thing. And that's when I procrastinate, because typically I like to work on a thing until it gets done. I don't like to stop. I just keep going. But when I'm starting to resist doing the thing, that's when I should start to realize, hey, I'm probably getting burnt out. So I've said a few times before, there's probably some recordings of me on YouTube somewhere saying that I don't get burnt out really. But if I think of how many times I've resisted working on the thing that I'm working on and calling that burnout, then yeah, I get burnt out. It's how projects fall by the wayside. But the thing is, I almost always go back to the project and I make sure that it gets finished. Well, not even almost always. For example, my work products, I don't really give myself the choice to not finish them. Yeah, burnout is human. And it's just weird because like I really don't feel like it's how people describe burnout. I just feel like I suddenly want to do something else for a while. But that probably is what it is. That's probably what other people are describing. I'm just experiencing it different than I understand what they are saying. So yes, anyway, it is most likely burnout. I've got the squirrel approach to software development. But like what's been happening lately is I've really been getting motivated to do music. In fact, so motivated, so very motivated that I finally I'm gonna admit this on stream on the internet. When I was younger, I used to not be very conscious and mindful of people who create products and compensating them appropriately for the products that they created. AKA, I am not proud of it, but I'm rectifying a lot of the stuff that I did. But I used to use software that I shouldn't have been using. That said, I buckled down and purchased Fruity Loops because it was the thing that I got used to using. I know how to sequence music in it, I know how to do stuff in it. So, yeah. So I got back into using Fruity Loops. I'm starting to create some things. I'm not going to play this on stream yet because it's nowhere close to ready. I will also say that I am getting inspiration from AI as well. I hesitate to mention that because then, the common thing that people will say is, "Oh, you're just letting AI create music for you, and then you're just gonna call it your own." And it's like, that's not how I use AI. AI is very inspiration. It's a tool for me, but have your opinions. Doesn't matter. So this is what I've been doing. Here's the original AI clip. And I've been mixing my own channel or my own instrumentation, doing all of the plugins and everything for each of the channels, and just, actually composing and sequencing and producing the song. So, yeah. Anyway, and of course making it my own. They're my lyrics. They're it's hard to talk about though for me because I don't want to give the wrong impression, and I don't want to be misunderstood that it's like I'm just taking AI and whatever. But point is, it's what I'm doing, and I don't plan on making money off of it either. I'm just doing it because I loved writing music, and I got the inspiration to write music again. Not yet, but in the future, I do have things planned. So you can't listen to it yet. No. Especially since I am doing a lot of the instrumentation myself. I have a bass guitar, the acoustic guitar, and a Rock Band guitar that works pretty decently as a plugged-in electric guitar. So they still work-ish. And then I have a Ion drum rocker kit, so I'll be playing the drums too myself. And then I have a keyboard that I will be playing for any of the synthesized instrumentation. And then I did some vocal tracks. They're very raw and not great, but I'm seeing if I can process my voice without making it sound like auto-tune. Yeah, it's definitely a cheap keyboard, and it is hooked up. I don't know what I did with my USB to MIDI, but that's hooked up. And what I hope to do someday is have actually play the instruments for the parts that I'm currently sequencing in Fruity Loops, and then have it be my actual performance. Because I love music. I love all the creative arts, but music right now is what I'm into. Okay, so Exactly. In fact, one of the songs that Suno is the name of the AI app that I was using. And one of the songs that it generated sounded just like a Metallica song, and I'm like, this is why I don't want to use this thing as a tool, because it's not my sound. I don't even know what my sound is yet. So I'm trying a bunch of things, and then once I settle on my sound, then we'll hear it. But until then, I'm just giving a teaser. Yes, it's opera. Actually, the one that I am really proud of as far as being able to sing is Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas. I really love singing Nightmare Before Christmas songs. The intro to Secret Garden's Lily's Eyes, that one's really fun. I would do it, but I don't think I can. I don't get embarrassed very easily, but I was thinking about what if I tried doing it now, and no. Not on a development stream. We will have a stream that is specific for music so that only the people that want to be bombarded with that kind of thing would be the ones that show up. I'm not going to subject people that are here for software development to that kind of torture. Okay, so I did miss Riva's comments. Software is just as creative as music. I agree with you. My brother loves FL Studio, says TBD Gamer. Zayd says, I love FL Studio. I have a cheap keyboard connected to it, which is fun. It's definitely fun. Collab with Casper573. He streams React Piano. You guys can jam. I don't know about jamming live, though. I'm a very, I need to plan it out kind of person. So, yeah. You do have the perfect name for chanting during a concert. Wouldn't it be, instead of one lie in, it would be one lie in, one, and then it just gets awkward because some people will be saying one, and some people will be saying one lion, and some people will just be saying lion, and it'll get awkward. So no. My DJ name is 2xmix. Yeah. Sounds like you've got a chorus for your number one hit. Oh no. That's the other thing. So like my lyrics are not explicit really. But they are, what word can I use? I don't want to call them anything super negative, but they are like drab, forlorn, jaded. Yeah. I mean, they're not great at the moment. I'm still refining, but yes, you will hear a song in the future. At least one that I'm working on. Okay, but I'm still learning that tool as well. I mean, I haven't used it since 2013, I think was the latest that I saw on my files, in my project files, but that could have just been from copying it over from one hard drive to another, so it could have been before then. But hello, Captain Commerce. Hope you're doing well. Speaking of, next shout out, Tyndall. Awesome. So Tyndall is another application developer working on migrating a .NET Framework legacy application to modern technology, and he is doing an amazing job at it. Like, I think you're starting to get away from using the placeholder stuff even. I think I saw you starting to get away from using ninject or whatever it's called. Ninject. It was awesome. Ninject is going away. So yeah, I mean he's doing it all. Definitely check him out. Um, Not even referenced in main project anymore. That's awesome. So it's my favorite type of work, which is turning something old and messy into something new and shiny. Um, Preferably, you know, actually de-spaghettiing the inside so it's not just a shiny veneer. It's actually cleaned and coated nicely. Started recreating the framework specific services into Net 8 specific ones. That's awesome. Captain says, I'm doing better. Things getting head above water with everything that's going on. Finally getting to listen in on some streams. Well, glad to have you here. Literally as of yesterday. Well, I'm glad you are. I am grateful. I am honored that you have chosen to be here. Thank you so much for that. If you just grab code and put it wherever your cursor currently is, you got it. You got it. So Peter said, can you have AI generate a song based on Inception horns? So, I mean, if that is something that you're interested in doing, we could play around with my 50 free credit. Anyone can have it. 50 free credits a day on Suno. You just sign up and you tell it what type of song you want to hear and it generates a song. Again, I'm still not a fan of taking whatever it outputs and saying, hey, I made this. But enjoying it, I don't see any problem with enjoying it. and sharing with other people for them to enjoy too. I don't see any issues with that. Maintenance is generally harder than from scratch. Yeah, absolutely. D-Influenza X. What's that? Is it an inside joke? Because if it is, that's awesome. Oh yeah, right. I need to respond to this. Okay, I need to accept this. This is really annoying. Okay. So what was this Teams message? Was it just that my password is expiring? No, what? Why, guys? Why are they? Why? Okay. What is that one? Oh yeah, it's the coffee drinking Zelda. Man, I love that. I just wanted to make it clear that I was referring to the disease. The disease. I'm just calling him the flu. Because he's so sick. I get it now. I get it. It's funny because he's sick. Wait. Deflux deep influenza X. I get it. Thank you for spelling it out for me. It's because I completely missed the message where there was a whole bunch of screaming. Where live coding said D-flu, and I was just making sure everyone knew that I was calling him the flu. Okay, I get it. Appreciate it. I'm just a little distracted. Oh, speaking of distracted, okay. All right, I think I'm making this decision. So, for the next 2 weeks, because of how crazy it's gonna be, I am most likely not going to stream. So yeah, that's 2 weeks of no One Lion streams. I want to dedicate as much time as I can to to whoever will be replacing me at the job, and that also means making this time slot available. And the only option that I would have is moving the time slot to much earlier time. So like if I stream just before actually that wouldn't even work because it would still overlap. I was going to say just before TBD's stream, it would still overlap his stream, because I would start at 4:30 when I got down here with my cup of coffee and my tired face. But I love using that time for myself for catching up on stuff, so that'd be a very big sacrifice. Or to later in the day at like 3:30, but then that would push back cooking, and then that would push back evening activities. So yeah. So instead, I'm just going to not stream for 2 weeks starting Monday, and then I will be back the week after with most likely, so this one isn't set in stone yet, but most likely 5 days of streaming 2 hours a day. We choose to allow this. It does not speak for all of us. But yeah, just letting you know. So with that, today, as I've used up an hour just being random-ish and stuff, we're definitely going to explore this. Whether or not it's going to work, don't know, but I really, really want to see something like this happening with the title, or not the title bar, the hero section. So as we scroll down in the hero, I would love to see it start fading out based off of how much you're scrolling without using JavaScript. So this is showing us how to change the width of an element based off of scroll and opacity even. So we're going to use this as an example. Thank you to whoever it was that showed me this example. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So I really do think they have this large space here for us to know that the only part of this that really matters is the animation rules and the keyframes. So we're just going to take those two and then we'll study them in our code. But we're just going to take those two. I'm going to go all the way down here. And we're going to do it for section hash hero. Yeah, so section hero section. Actually, we're just going to target hero section directly. Although, because of specificity, I like doing it this way where I'm always targeting based off of structure. Ooh, hello Toulouse. Is it worth it? Or is it worth to learn C#.NET these days? Because I have a problem to choose, cybersecurity or .NET. That's an interesting toss-up for you, that you would have only those two options, as far as, you know, one is not really software development and the other one is. So what you're saying is you're choosing between pursuing software development or doing cybersecurity. Peter says avoid cybersecurity at all possible costs. Except if you are okay with making lots of money, apparently. But it's a house of horrors, he says. Yeah. By itself, so the question by itself, I would say .NET is absolutely worth learning these days. So is any other, not any other, so are many other application development languages and frameworks. I almost vomited because I was about to say such as in JavaScript frameworks. Oh gosh, I can't believe I said that. But yeah, they're still very valuable if it's work that you're looking for. So there are plenty of jobs in the US at least that are .NET, C#, mostly banks, education systems, government work. I'm working for a major OEM that's in the public sector, and we are heavily using .NET. And we're doing desktop development with hardware level code. So that's just to say that we definitely have a use or a need for .NET developers. But as far as choosing between whether to pursue cybersecurity or .NET, you could do both. You really could. Like, you're not going to lose your cybersecurity skills and experience just because you're going to pursue learning .NET. In fact, it would probably make you an even better, let's say that you are on a security team that is doing the verification of an application to make sure that it doesn't have any vulnerabilities, or you're on a team that is doing the red team type stuff, where you're trying to penetrate defenses and I was gonna say violate, but I can't think of the word. What is the word I'm looking for? Exploit. Good grief. Exploit vulnerabilities in an application, especially a .NET application. Knowing software development, especially .NET type software development, could make you a better cybersecurity person. And what TBD Gamer said, even better. So take your cybersecurity knowledge into software development and write strong, fortified code. Absolutely. Cybersecurity in most situations reminds me of lawyer work, or what my imagination says of lawyer work, says Peter. Captain Commerce said such as in Excel 97 databases. Yeah, that works. Yep, absolutely. They're still a thing. They're still a thing. Excel 97, the only tool you need, says TBD Gamer. Captain Commerce says truth. But yeah, I'd encourage you to pick up software development. If you aren't getting what it was that you thought you were going to get from cybersecurity, from pursuing that as a career, I strongly encourage you to try at least software development. And .NET is a great place to do it. 200 IQ? What does that mean? So Peter says, get a job and yes, jump out of cybersecurity. Cool. Okay, so let's see what adding this. So we know that this is not going to be good because it's going to be fully across the screen already, because it's already zoomed, or not zoomed, but scrolled. So we need to probably invert this. So let's start it like this. And then we'll see what kind of behavior this does as we scroll. The answer is it does absolutely nothing. And to me, it looks like it's because of this entry. This looks like it is some kind of variable that is not defined for us. Oh, excuse me. I'm not seeing any references to CSS libraries nor JavaScript libraries, so it should exist for us if it exists for them. Let's grab a notepad real quick. Just so we can see this better. Except I can't use that one. Whatever. So where is this entry? So is entry pretty much just a keyword? Yeah, it looks like it's a keyword that we should be able to use. Is there a meta tag that gives us some support for this? Yeah, there's nothing special in the pen settings that says you have to have these things in order for this to work. It should just work. Okay, well, let's make sure that we're targeting the right thing to begin with. So we're down here in main section, hero section. There was my issue. And we're just going to give it a background color, ink it, just to make sure that we can target it. So there we go. We're targeting the right thing now. Okay, so it's not doing any kind of animation from the scrolling down. And if we put you back the way you were, and maybe put it on the lower elements so that we can actually see it happening. What we are expecting to see happen is that entire div to opacity go from 0 to 1 or whatever it is, and the width to go from max width to 50% minus 2 pixels or whatever the thing says it was. But I'm not seeing that happen, so let's put it on just all sections. Okay, so yeah, so we can definitely see it happening. So it is taking effect, but the opposite isn't happening, and it probably has to do with these settings here. So animation range contain 40%. So it starts when it is negative 10% off the bottom of the screen is what I would think that that means. Contain means keep it within the viewport, and then 40% means finish at 40% up the screen. 40% from the top of the screen. This looks like about 40% left, right? Yeah, okay. So this means that we want the entry of the animation to start at a specific height. Instead of 10%, we want it to start at 0. And I don't know if this is 0 to the bottom. It kind of looks like 0 to the bottom. So then if we change this number to 0, is this relative to the top? Of course, you know, we could be reading documentation on this, but why? But why? And why isn't this turning yellow like in the other pen? It's almost acting like that's not a real symbol. Hello, Foolish Schnabel. Oh, are we still talking music? Oh no, we're talking split keyboards. Do split keyboards really make a difference for y'all? I was really considering getting the, oh man, what was that thing called? Split keyboard with trackball. The one that was pretty much just 2 mice that had the entire keyboard on them, but a trackball on both sides. Because I love trackballs. It doesn't look like any of these. But man, expensive is not even close to beginning to describe. Which is, well, I mean, it was a long time ago, so it's probably been revamped many times. This is my mouse. This is the mouse I'm using. But yeah, I mean, like, there are so many that are like it now that it could be any number of these. Yeah, the reason that I would be a fan of that and I would want it to have a trackball on it is because I go from my standing desk, sometimes I sit at this desk, to a couch, and I do a lot of programming there, software development there. And so I like having something that doesn't need a flat surface in order for me to use. And then this keyboard, so I have a M keys keyboard. It is heavy, so if I accidentally drop it on my foot, which I have done, it hurts so bad. So bad. It looked a lot like this, but not quite. This looks homebrewed. This is really cool. Anyway, I didn't actually read the responses to that. Today it was actually warm in Oslo. Awesome. So is it done snowing for at least 2 days? Sounded like you're still having some weather. Deflex said the ultimate hacking keyboard is the best. Is that the name of it? The Ultimate Warrior Hacking Keyboard. Yeah. So I saw lots of pictures of this one. But that's definitely not the one that I was looking at that I wanted. That was the first type of these that I wanted, I should say. I don't even know if I would recognize it if I saw it again. I was like, man, 1 keyboard per hand. And there were like so many macro buttons on it too. It'd make it so easy. Anyway, still reading chat. Ooh, I like the light. Buy 10 of them. Snubble said to Riva, I used to have a split keyboards, but I am now using straight keyboards all the time. Improved your typing and oh dear, TBD. TBD said, yes, it improved your typing immensely. So yeah, so there you go. Deflex has a split keyboard. He can give you his opinion on it and have it be informed what he thinks. Is it all the rave? Is it everything it's cracked up to be? TBD Gamer said, I went back to Logitech G213 membrane keyboard for dev. I love this one because of how low profile and soft the keys are. And they're just like stealthy and but we did recently get My very first mechanical keyboard ever. You can't hear it. And it's sitting in a box because it's never going to get used. I forgive you for the trackball love. Unforgivable, though, is similar. Preferring the little nubs. Oh, geez. Preferring? Like, is there anyone that actually prefers them? I don't even think laptops come with them anymore. Oh, oh, my work laptop does, and it's fairly recent. Logitech M575. Yeah, what even is this the brand for this one? Hey, Logitech options. I think it's just called the MX keys and it doesn't have a number. Come on, load. Oh, hush, stomach. Gotta say, trackpads on Mac Apple products are very superior to Windows equivalents. Yeah. I mean, if you're into Mac devices, Apple devices, but or not Apple devices, if you're into trackpads, then yes. It does sound like it would be good. Oh my gosh, I can't anything. How do I move this window? Okay, so this is my keyboard, and it is called the MX Keys S. It's wireless. It has a weight, a battery on the back. That is a weight. It's metal, and the keys are this really, really smooth, soft sounding tappy, light rain when you type. All of these can be programmed as programmable buttons. Backlight. I wish it was RGB so that I can up my game. Because everyone knows RGB makes you like 200 times more elite. Wow. I'm reading super slow today. And this time I'm actually trying to get this thing done. I am motivated to do it, and we are getting some progress, but I also don't want to ignore chat, especially since I won't be streaming for 2 weeks after Monday. Okay. Peter said, I bought a mouse, so that when my Dell trackpad acts up, I can plug in a real mouse, which is admittedly dumb. I just don't like trackpads. I turn them off all the time because I have fat hands and I can't avoid touching the trackpad while I'm trying to type, and it's really annoying. And for some reason, my palm looks like a finger, so even the palm detection doesn't work. Yeah, super sad. The funny one is we have a Lenovo Yoga, and that trackpad is so super duper sensitive as far as the left and right clicks. Like, I try to move my finger over the trackpad lightly, and I end up clicking over and over, and I'm like, I'm barely even putting any weight on this thing. It's crazy. Napalm said, I bought the Magic Trackpad for my Mac Mini when I had it. It was totally worth it. That's awesome. TBD Gamer said, I just bought a 3DO with games for less than that. Keyboard is worth, yeah. Oh man. It's an expensive keyboard. And the previous one that I had broke, and I had that whole entire debacle to go through where I couldn't just get a key because the keys don't sell the keys individually. And then I bought a key that I thought was the right key, and it was like $15 for the key plus $6 in shipping or something like that, and it still didn't fit nor work. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Would be nice to have a chair's arms contain split keyboards. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure there are chairs that do that, that have that, that do that. You know, they transform like Transformers. I'll take the 30-year-old retro game console over expensive keyboard. Speaking of, I started looking up. I want to call it FFmpeg because I've been using FFmpeg a lot too lately. Anyway, the emulator that you were talking about on your stream earlier. I have a couple of emulators, but they are individual. So like I have one for SNES, one for Genesis, one for GBA. But it sounds like that project is all of them in one. So that sounds cool. And how are you liking it? I want one for my collection. To TBD Gamer talking about his 3DO. Magnavox 3DO or Gold Star 3DO? Asked Peter. And the answer doesn't matter. But it's the most random thing. So TBD is responding. It's my second. I think the 3DO was awesome. I have an FX10, but one an FX1. The FX1. I will say it is expensive. I'd recommend you split it with your significant other. Good birthday present. Needed Jad joke sound alert to deflex streams. Wait, I thought you meant split the keyboard as in split it up, and I confused the joke. And either way, whatever your joke was, good job. Here, we should split it versus split the cost or something. TBD Gamer said to Captain Commerce Collection, you say, if you ever want to talk retro games. Yes, so that's kind of the thing that I was talking about, the retro games discussion. And so TBD Gamer is currently at a dilemma. He wants to know what to do with his birthday stream. He's going to be streaming for longer. Doesn't know if he should work on a project for longer or split up some of the time to do some retro gaming. And if he does retro gaming, which game or games should he play? RGB makes you 10 times dev. Yep. I mean 10x. 10x dev. Peter says there's trackpad sensitivity settings, but yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like the physical click is hardware. It's physical. So it's not just tapping on the trackpad. It's moving my finger around and it actually pushes the physical click. And it is crazy light. Barely brushing my finger against it. And of course my wife has no problem using it. She's like, well, what's the issue? And she's all just moving her finger around the whole trackpad and it doesn't click. And it's like, I just got fat hands. Anyway, Commerce said, I basically have most all of the Nintendo from NES to Switch, Sega, SMS and Genesis, PlayStation, PS1 through PS4. So SMS is the... no, I was thinking Super Famicom. What is SMS? It seems like I should know which one that is. Is that just the overseas version? Sega Master System. Okay. I only had Genesis. I don't think I would know what the Sega Master System is. And the Famicom was like Super Nintendo anyway, equivalent. Anyway, and Xbox OG through 1. I'd like to a few more of the Sega systems, namely the Saturn and Dreamcast. Oh man, there was this amazing game on Dreamcast. Phantasy Star? The original? Yeah, I loved it so much. Anyway, but those are like way down on my list of current financial priorities. TBD said, I was going to say, Peter, that the MacBook has the best one I've used because Peter said MacBook trackpads are legit near perfect. And thank you so much for the follow. I I love the name. Very good name. TBD Gamers at Decap Commerce. Nice collection. I've been blessed the last 10 years, so I've invested in my collection. Well, I say invested. I want to play these things, not look at them. Hi, Dizzy Kitty. Thank you so much for being here. Happy to have you. We're a development stream, I promise, but right now we're just talking a lot. Again, is it hard to make transition from C to .NET C#? I found it pretty easy. I found it like if you actually have C and C++ experience already, then you're going to excel at .NET. You may find some pitfalls in that you want to do memory management yourself, or you know, all the garbage collection and thread management and stuff. But if you can like just kind of brush off some of the need to control your threads, your memory, and just be like, man, this is liberating. This managed system is doing all that stuff for me, and all I have to do is write async, await this method, populate this object. No mallocs, no nothing. But syntax wise, there are quite a few differences, but overall, like with blocks and methods and maybe naming conventions would be a little different, but yeah. I'm in my first year of college right now. I am doing I always DSA in C, but parallelly I'm learning .NET. Find it more interesting. You will, yeah, thank you. Data structures and algorithms. Good grief. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. I know what it means. I just can never articulate it. Anyway, I think I like the idea of object-oriented programming. I think you would enjoy it if you got fully into it. Because you have to, you may as well enjoy your time doing C and C++. There's a lot that you can take with you, a lot of deeper knowledge that you don't get when you're just doing normal C# tutorials or learning on your own for managed application, managed languages. It's just going to benefit you in the long run. But yeah, I do love .NET. And so TBD Gamer was asking, is there anything you're specifically trying to do? Snabble said, I used to think MacBook had good keyboard and trackpads, and I got a MacBook 2018 model. What does that mean? Is it terrible? Peter said to Snabble, is that the cursed one with the LED bar at the top? Because I don't know that one at all. I don't use Mac. It's so pretty though. Just look at it. Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to ask any questions you want, especially if you're just learning. We have a fantastic community of people. It's a really quiet Discord. Let me just start with that. It's not like super duper active, but if you do have questions, it's a place where you can ask it and get friendly answers and responses. If you do have stuff you want to contribute to any of them, just don't feel like you have to. If you're already a part of way too many Discords, then I don't want you to feel obligated or any kind of pressure to join it, but we're there for you. Nuh-uh. No, it still takes us there. Did I put a period at the end or something? No. Let me create a new invite link. Invite. Invite. Invite, invite, invite. Invite. do what I do. Join the Discord and mute every channel in it, and then unmute only the ones that you care about. Okay, does this link work for you? If so, I will be using that going forward. Update Discord invite link to this one. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, I don't really ever at everyone or at here or anything, and I don't really want other people to either. Because I'm already bombarded with way too many notifications, and if there is something you want to say directly to someone, like we have channels that are specific for like asking for help and stuff, and definitely check them often, kind of thing. You know what I'm getting at. Okay. Anyway, I'll update my Discord invite link everywhere after the stream. And Snobble was saying it wasn't a good experience. The keyboard broke, the trackpad broke. So yeah, was it this one? I think Peter was asking. And TBD Gamer was agreeing with Peter. Yep. In fact, I just left someone's Discord because, I mean, they rarely used at everyone, but over the past few days, they were adding everyone every few minutes. And I'm like, I can't do that at the moment. There are too many things going on that are yelling for my attention. Okay, so what I want to understand from this is what we've been working on. We've been trying to use this as our sample for having CSS control an animation that happens based off of scroll position. And so what we're looking at is the scroll position of the element. And we are using some rule in animation range. Yeah, same. Duke is up, so same. Probably even the same reasons. So what I would like to see is the animation range options. So what keywords do we have? We have entry and exit. Okay, so exit, and they actually need to be percentages, so that's probably why it's ignoring it right now. Yeah. And so you can see at and oh, that's another thing. It's relative to the container, or probably to the thing that has position relative, or the closest in the hierarchy with relative or absolute. But as soon as it hits the top or goes above the top of the container, you can see that it just says, all right, I'm not working anymore. I'm done. If we put that at something more like 150, then it shouldn't happen until, whoa, until it makes it way above the, yeah, the top of the element. I hope we can do more than use percentages though, because percent isn't going to work for me. So instead, let's do 200 characters. Yes. Okay. I don't know what it's doing here at the bottom. It seems to only happen when my cursor is moving on the screen. on the actual content. We'll have to figure that out. Snubble said, I didn't have a touch bar because I explicitly picked a model that didn't, but then Apple said, if you don't have touch bar, you only get 2 USB-C ports to brandish you as a non-believer. And since USB-C port was used for power, in order to get 60 FPS, you had to run the monitor on a dedicated USB-C. Then you were out of ports. I still got MacBook 2013, which is pretty awesome, but the battery died. But I can't switch it myself. I can't switch it myself because it's glued, of course, to the frame, so I have to use toxic fluids to loosen it, which I won't. Yeah. That does not sound fun. Huckaducky. Hurricane. Oh, I have a question. So I said I was gonna ask this. Man, here I go. Not doing the design stuff again. I do have a question for any of you that are willing to answer and or hear it. So I have a pipeline. Yay me. Oh, thank you, Dukasoft. I should have known. I don't know why I didn't think of that. We have, for our product, we have 2 pipelines. Well, we have a lot of pipelines, but we have 2 pipelines that do the same thing, except that one is for our, we're internally working on. Let me start with the full setup. The product itself is a desktop application, and it's released through the Microsoft Store. More incoming Dukas. No, this is going to be pretty concrete, I hope. So we have a desktop application, and our build process is pull in the code from the main branch, build, publish, or not publish, but you know what I mean, create the executables and everything for it. So once you do the build, you get your bin, package those, that's what it was called, package, and then publish those artifacts. Well, the thing that is happening is that for some reason in our solution, in the internal CI pipeline, which is the one that we do every single time that we make a change that gets committed to main, so that we can test internally and everyone can play with internally. You can install it and work with that version. The client always has access to the latest one. Anyway, we have that version of the pipeline and it works just fine. Azure DevOps, thank you for asking. So to clarify, these pipelines are in Azure DevOps. They are managed using a YAML file in the solution, but the external NuGet, well, let's not even worry about that because that's not where the issue is. So they build. We have 83, no, yes. Let's say we have 30 projects in the desktop application solution that needs to build. All of them except for 4 projects. 4 projects are building in release. The other 4 projects are building in debug for some reason. Did I explain that well enough? What are your ideas? So, the pipeline is configured to always use the release configuration. So let's say in this project here that I have, my main application is this WPF project, and my satellite projects are this Blazor UI, these shared libraries. Yeah. So very concrete. We have all of these projects that need to get built, and all of them except for, let's say, this one and this one are building using the release configuration, because that's what we have as the command line arguments, build and release. And these two are still building with debug configuration. We don't want them to. We want them to only build in release. And so the way that we realized this was happening was I have a class that has two properties that are hidden behind a hash if debug because I don't want them to be released. And that's in another project. And I'm using that class in one of these two. And I say hash if debug, then populate those fields with this information. So mostly exceptions information. And so when we were building our release pipeline, we were seeing that we get a build error that says these properties don't exist. And it's like, why do they not exist? All right, so we'll go to configuration management. So I'll change to release first. And so what I noticed is the output directories were bin/debug/whatever. I'm like, why is it building these two as debug and the rest of them are bin/release/whatever? So when I go into the configuration manager, I see that they're all set to build as release. Oh, I can take these two off again. They're all set to build as release in the release configuration. And in debug, they're all set to build debug in release configuration. So the other thing is maybe the debug symbol is defined because again, they're hidden behind hash if debug precompiler word commands, whatever it's called. Are you targeting the solution file or individual projects? The solution. Yes. So we're building star.sln. And there's only one solution, by the way. It sounds like you're already aware of the configuration manager, and I think that's where it's going wrong somehow. Yeah, and I don't know how to look at that in the pipeline. So I can read YAML, but I'm still not fully familiar with the structure of a pipeline YAML file. So if you know of something that I should be looking for. Oh yeah, here's another important thing, I guess. So within each of our projects, we do have multiple target, not target frameworks. What's the other one? Essentially configuration. Oh yeah, that's all it is, just configurations. So we have ones that are all of our projects are set to only be x64, so we're building targeting x64 only. But we do have a few other configurations, and you can see those in the CS projects. And as I'm looking through them, and I scroll down to build. So here it's showing me all of the projects for release, or not all of the projects, all of the build configuration stuff for release, all of the symbols that are defined. That's what I'm trying to get at. And none of these say debug. Yeah, but that's it. Yeah. So imagine this. Every single one of the CS projects has a target framework, target platform. Is that what it's called? The one that you choose any CPU in x64, whichever. runtime identifier. Yeah, platform and platform target are the two. That was right. That was just dyslexic. So every single project has this in their CS proj. So there is no way to build using any CPU or x86 or ARM64 or ARM. But now that you say that, I'm going to double check that the libraries in question do actually have that too. Yeah. Okay. So platform and target platform are both defined, or platform target are both defined with x64. I mean, the thing that should have worked just now, and it's configurations. Yeah. So it's called configurations, and they all have a configurations with debug, release, embedded, and a few others that are in there. What else? What else? We have a build props, but man, that one is just hard to trace. The point is that we are using hash if debug in other projects, and it's only these more recently created projects that I created. So I'm thinking I did something wrong, which is why I'm looking for help. Where the CS proj definitions match all of the other class libraries, but have my namespace and my assembly name. And that's the only difference between them. I'm so confused. Okay, so more thoughts. Peter said, or first of all, TBD Gamer said, actually, if I go all the way up, pipeline will pull down from the repo source, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, we'll pull down the repo from source. So yeah, the very first step is check out application at master and then build. Or restore and then build, sorry. Yeah, I'll answer any questions like that. Are you targeting the solution in individual projects? Sounds like you're already aware of configuration. Pipeline. And then TBD Gamer said, your pipeline is going to be scripted. Are you specifying the build mode in the command line? In the command line. So I don't fully know how Azure DevOps works as far as pipelines are concerned. What I know is we have a .yaml file whose file name is the name of the pipeline. And in there we have things like the first task is repositories. Pull that repository. Here's the name of the repository. And the ref property in there is master. So that repository at master. Then variables, we have build configuration, release. We have our NuGet feeds, which we were having a problem with anyway. We have the staging directory. And then the jobs come from another template that says checkout, then PowerShell build. Yes. So here's the build. And there is a dash configuration release. So is that what you meant by script for the command line? So the build specifically, the build command line step specifically has dash configuration space release. Or dash, but whatever. is -- configuration. And we're using the variable build configuration that I told you about earlier, which says release. So -- configuration. Yeah, I won't be able to copy pasta. /p publish ready to run, which is another internal command line that we have. Build release via .NET, and we are targeting specifically. Okay, so here's another answer to one of your questions, Peter. We are specifically targeting the solution that we want to build. Like, it's not even star.sln. We're building path to solution.sln. Yeah, and my project exists in that solution. And all of the other projects in that solution are building as release, except for those 4. Okay, so it might be a combination of x64 release or release any CPU. For the record, this kind of stuff is why I strongly like build scripts, CI, just explicitly calling build with the platform and release set only. Yeah, and I really wish we had ours split up that way, but we do the entire thing. We do the checkout, whatever I told you, restore, build, and it has to be all of them too. So even our shared library, we check out that one, which is in a separate repo, check out that one at master, build it, generate the NuGet packages, publish them to the artifacts folder, with whatever version they're going to be published to the artifacts folder, keep track of what that version is, and then build the main applications repo, or checkout, restore, build. And those are using the NuGet package references. But again, that part works fine. It's just whether it's building each project as release or those specific projects as debug for whatever reason. And I can't figure it out. What does our latest look like? Latest release with the change that I just made failed with nothing. So it didn't fail on my code this time. You know what? Well, I mean, let me still check that though. Debug. Yeah, it's still building my projects as debug. So what I ended up doing is using a different approach for those properties and hiding them a different way. Yeah, that's as specific as I'm going to get about that. But it's still building those specific projects as debug, but I'm not causing the build to crash anymore because it's not trying to access those properties anymore in release. Except that it is. Oh my gosh. How can, all right. This, let me finish reading all of Peter's stuff because I want to just see if there are any. Compare CS proj, yeah, definitely did that many times. If your CS proj files are the new SDK style and the rest aren't, that will be impossible to compare. They are not the new SDK style, thankfully. They're all still .NET 7. Well, the new projects were created using .NET 7. The original projects were created using .NET 5 and eventually upgraded to .NET 7, which just involved changing the version number and making sure that any reference NuGet packages were up to date. Also test this locally, building it at the command line. Okay, I'll definitely try that after the stream. That's a great idea. Yeah, I just need to copy and paste the .NET build command from the pipeline. What does it even look like? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's not very easy. .NET build, the solution name, central logger. Okay, maybe I can just ignore that part. But yes, I will definitely try that. That's a great idea. But the thing that I'm just now seeing that I was laughing at is even though my projects are building as debug, the error that happened is that there is an unused variable. And so one of the people on our team was like, for this legacy app that has spaghetti code and has existed since 2008, let's turn on warnings as errors for our pipeline builds. So the error is that this specific private field is never assigned and will always have the default variable or default value. And so the build is crashing because of that. Anyway, at least that one I can fix. So I'll get with them after the stream. I think warnings as errors is good, but it's like any linting and you end up just disabling, suppressing most warnings. Yeah. Man, and also turning on nullability was another thing that they decided was a good idea to do for everything when upgrading to .NET 6. Okay, so anyway, I know why our build is failing, but I still don't know why my 4 projects are using the debug build profile. But I do appreciate you giving me some ideas. I do have something to try. Warnings in chat. Yeah, I mean, look at them. Deflux's color is almost the same color as warnings in Azure DevOps. But you know what else is weird? There are warnings in other projects about unused or non-modified properties that are getting treated as warnings. So why is this one in specific getting treated as an error? Is that a project specific setting? Not just the entire build? Yeah, it is. So there is one project that has treat warnings as errors. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make that change in a new branch and create a PR for them. That'll be fun. Okay, so good news though. We did make a tiny amount of progress as far as getting this thing to do what we want. I just want it to do the opposite. So exit, starting at 100%. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what the properties for this are supposed to be, or the settings for this property are supposed to be, so that we get it to start fading out on as it's heading out. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Right. Right. We always do. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. Right. But for animation direction alternate? Sure. I'm willing to try it. Didn't really seem to do much. Okay, I'm only gonna apply this to hero now because I'm getting tired of that flashy at the bottom. Because that's the only one that we're trying to do this animation for. Yeah, it's like doing the opposite of what I wanted to. Well, then again, that's where I just wanted to swap these two. Oh. And I don't want to change the width at all, just the opacity. Oops. Okay. Hey, that actually works. Now the only thing that I need it to do is be at 100% opacity. Yeah, that's almost exactly the effect that we want. So I don't know that this is helping us any, but entry would be 0, which is bottom of the screen. So I need to figure out how to make entry the top of the screen. And then, oh, that was it. That is pretty much the effect I wanted. Does that kind of look like the picture we drew? Almost. So there's going to be one more fun thing that I'm hoping we'll be able to do in CSS. And that is, I kind of want a gradient opacity. So the bottom is still mostly opaque until it reaches the top. So that'll be our next trick. But right now, whoever gave me this as the example, thank you so much for one. For two, we got this thing looking the way that we want ish. I mean, it's still starting the animation a little early. It's really fuzzy because it's already starting to apply the scale and opacity. So maybe if I change this to 105. Yeah, okay. Just to play around with it. I want you to not be fuzzy. There. So we need to find the sweet spot of where this thing can... EDH. Yeah, that's exactly it. So even if we resize the screen, that won't happen until we start scrolling and it hits 100 VH, which is the top of the screen from the bottom, relative to the bottom. We did it. So anyway, I would love to see this to where we are fading out faster opacity as soon as it hits the top part here. And then this part still stays mostly opaque until it is at the top of the screen. But right now, this is pretty much the effect that I'm going for. The other thing that would be cool is to have the parallax effect for the background. But again, it already looks like it has it because of the way that our eyes are working. But anyway, we did it. We did a thing today, and it was fun, right? It was fun. Thank you all for your suggestions, for your comments, for everything. Hindle went live. Is he doing another co-working stream? Because that didn't really work out for me. Yeah, anyway, thank you all so very much for being here today. I'm sorry for the squirrel moments, for the all over the placeness. There's a lot going on, especially with trying to leave the workplace, leave the stuff that I started working on better than it was when I got to the job. And yeah, wanting to document everything, update existing documents so that they're more accurate, all the things, you know what I'm talking about. So we are going to raid out. We're going to raid over to Thindle. This time we will actually be seeing code and not just a co-working stream. So I do hope you'll join us. He is, again, an application developer working on modernizing an existing e-commerce app. And it is for work, I believe. So you'll see real app dev, not whatever fake thing I'm giving you at the moment. But I will be back again on Friday for Community Day. I will post a recording of this stream to YouTube at some point in time, hopefully before the next stream. I've been doing it kind of during the intro of the stream lately, but at least it gets done eventually. But if you are interested in seeing the previous streams, you can see them on my YouTube channel. Yeah, so Friday Community Day, where you can ask any question, talk about any topic, preferably those that are related to this channel's content, but we'll talk about anything. There are certain topics I don't like to talk about or don't encourage talking about at all. But yeah, we will see you when we see you. Until next time, enjoy. Ciao for now.